The thing that truly fascinates me the most about Star Wars Episode 9 by JJ is all of the different secrets, surprises, twists, and turns that will be inserted into this movie that will change our perception on not just the past two films, but also the prequels and the original trilogy. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, I think that going into this film, one of the biggest mysteries of all has all to do with exactly how Rey is going to become a stronger character and how she's actually going to essentially become a Jedi and rebuild the Jedi Order from the ground up. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Rey and the First Jedi. Specifically, a description of Rey reading one of the ancient Jedi texts that she took from the tree library on Ahch-To. It's described that she is reading the book of the First Jedi. It's described that this book holds a map, a location to what's described as the Lost City. It's also said that Rey has been reading the ancient texts and has learned new powers from passages of the First Jedi in the pages. The next goes over Rey walking through a tunnel system while holding the map in the book. It's described the book of the First Jedi not only offers new powers and knowledge to Rey, as it did for Luke Skywalker, but will also bring her to a sacred place full of secrets that will benefit not only her, but the future of the Jedi. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this that are really intriguing to me about the First Jedi, and specifically this book that is all about this character that is very mysterious, that is really going to help Rey as a character and the future of the Jedi and the actual Order itself. So if we look at the books in The Last Jedi, we really know little to nothing about them, right? Even in the visual dictionary, we didn't learn too much about them at all. So in Episode 9, we're going to be learning more about these books. They are going to have a prominent role in Episode 9. Even the Poe Dameron comic kind of hints at that, because we do know that C-3PO is translating all of the text within there for her, and it could be one of the reasons as to why Luke Skywalker never made it to the actual Lost City, is because perhaps he was unable to translate some of the text embedded in there. And, well, Yoda essentially hinted in Episode 8 that he probably didn't even read all of them. So, looking at Episode 9 and all, the first book, alright, the First Jedi book, is something that's really piquing my interest, because this is the type of Jedi lore that I really love, and something that J.J. Abrams will essentially be borrowing from what Rian Johnson created, and pretty much diving into it in depth, in detail, right? So, if we look at Episode 9, I want to go over the first thing here, is that it's also said that Rey has been reading the ancient texts and has learned new powers from passages of the First Jedi in the pages. So the First Jedi is offering all these different pieces of knowledge and different powers, as Luke Skywalker did. Now, I think that pretty much confirms it right then and there that Luke Skywalker learned the Force projection technique in the First Jedi book that is stored within the tree library during the events of Episode 8 and, of course, Episode 7. Now, with that being said, this is where things begin to get very interesting, is that within the First Jedi book, there holds a map that leads to the actual Lost City that we've been talking about for a couple of months now. In case you guys don't know what the Lost City is, it's an original concept that was supposed to be in Episode 7 that never made it to the final cut of the movie. So, with that being said, JJ wants to transfer that whole entire idea over into Episode 9. The Lost City essentially is a place, a sacred place for both Jedi and, of course, Sith. So, there's a lot of Sith and Jedi lore under there. It could very well be a city that once belonged to both actual sides of the dark and the light, for all we know. There's a lot of mystery when it comes to the Jedi and Sith lore in Episode 9. So we do know that JJ plans to make Rey a very powerful character in this movie, as well as giving her a very important lineage in the film. So, with that being said, it seems as though that this is essentially the conduit, in a sense, to making Rey a very powerful figure, and making her a Jedi and rebuilding the Jedi Order in Episode 9, pretty much all on her own, it seems, right? And it's all going to be done from the book of the First Jedi and the other books as well. So all these different books, we're going to be learning about them, and I think that what's great about them is that it holds a lot of pieces of the Jedi Code. You can even hear the Jedi Code whispering to Rey, essentially calling Rey to the tree. So they brought her there for a reason. Whatever voices those really were that we heard in The Last Jedi, it was calling to her. So if we look at episode 9, what JJ is trying to do, he's really trying to deliver when it comes to Jedi lore, and that's something that was actually promised for The Last Jedi, but never was actually made into the final cut of that movie. Originally, we were supposed to get scenes of Luke reading the text to Rey that never made it to the final cut. Also Luke explaining the ways of the ancient Jedi, but instead it turned out to be something completely different. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.